Hello, everybody in podcast land. Welcome back to another episode of the Ratchet Ramblings podcast presented to you by the CSPN. I'm one third of your host, Jeremy, aka Black Dante on Twitter, aka Vice President Big Knees, aka Nigga Mort, aka Say No to Coworkers, and I'm joined by
What's up, y'all? This is Curtis the Menace, aka Striving for 65% or more, aka Trilificent on all social media. Our sister Candace is still on her break, but we do have a return guest in her stead. The return of the trophy wife, 24 karat black girl magic. We have
Ah, thank you.
Lexi on
Thank
the
you.
show.
Thank you for that introduction. I feel so
Welcome back.
loved.
When You Do Friendship Correctly.
When you do VIP.
Hello.
Shakespeare who? Okay.
But no, thank you for joining us. I'm
Thank you for
excited
having me.
to
I'm excited to be back. It's like been long overdue, I feel like.
yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah,
Right.
it
The
has.
people need to hear your voice. They need to hear your shenanigans.
Right.
I thought about that last week. I was like, who haven't we heard from in a long Lexi? Where the fuck Lexi been?
Phaedra, they was planning to blow
Oh,
Oh, man.
what a way to start the show.
Yes, let's get to it.
So first and foremost, use the hashtag Ratchet Ramblings Pod as usual when you listen and tweet about the show so we can see what you guys have to say. You can do that on Instagram, on Facebook, or on Twitter. The Instagram is at Ratchet Ramblings. The Twitter is at Ratchet Rambling with no S on the end. And the Facebook page is facebook.com/Ratchet Ramblings. And I believe we have a Stitcher review to read, so I will throw it to my co-host Jeremy.
Correct. You can leave ratings and reviews for us however you listen to your podcast through your podcast listening device. And there are so many ways to hear these ratchet ramblings and this niggotry, which is really black excellence. I mean, we know why y'all here. Um, and yeah, so we have a new review from Stitcher. And I think Stitcher is one of those ones where you have to like leave a review and it has to be approved and they have to send you an email confirmation that your shit got approved. So it's a Stitcher, get y'all shit together because that's too much damn work. But
It's extreme.
but we appreciate the love, and this review is from Misha, and it is 5 stars, and it is titled "My Recommended Dose of Ratchet TV Comedy." I love seeing a new episode of Ratchet Ramblings pop up in my Stitcher app. Every episode is full of hilarious recaps and dragons of my favorite reality shows. Some of the shows discussed I don't even watch, but the commentary is enough to entertain. When Candace puts on her dragon pantaloons, I get my life. Jeremy always sounds like a pot full of neck bones, and I love him for it. You're welcome. Curtis is an amazing addition to round out the trifecta of trash TV reviewers. A special shout out goes to London, my favorite podcast, Hype Baby. Come on, Blue Ivy of Ratchet Ramblings.
Give her roses.
Yes, we stand. Everyone brings something special to the show, and I have often been brought to the point of tears with laughter. Thanks for the laughs and hashtag content. And
Thank you for that.
Yes, thank you for that wonderful review.
Yeah. I feel like in honor of that amazing review, we should just get right to it.
Yeah, let's just get right to the foolery.
Okay. So because things were a little bit light for us because we dropped a show, we decided to give you guys a special treat. And we are going to review the last 2 episodes of Braxton Family Values when they brought in Chain Chant Van Zant,
Rhonda,
to try to help them work through their issues. So, episode 15, Hotbed of Crazy. First of all, that's shade.
Yes. We know
Second
shade
of
when
all,
we see it.
Yes, yes. Second of all, the way Iyanla waddled into the room, I was man down. I don't know why, because I recognize that Iyanla is no spring chicken, but it still took me down. I don't know why. I don't know why.
It reminded me of like a mini game in Mario Party.
You know what? That is accurate.
Okay.
Yeah, like one of those ice mini games where they turned into penguins and was waddling the race to the finish. That's what it reminded me of.
Right. Or when they do that characterization of Bowser when his legs too short and his
Yes,
shell too big.
yes, the Bowser suit.
So he got to like waddle to get that big ass shell around.
Yes.
Anyway,
I'm dead.
anyway, so they all showed up standoffish as hell.
Mm.
Also, Trina is looking a hot mess.
Good luck.
I don't know what kind of transition you're going through, but may you be like a phoenix and come out of the ashes, because bitch, you look the fuck terrible right now.
She was up there looking like one of them leftover Fox costumes from like the X-Men or some shit.
She was looking like she auditioned for Napoli Ever After and cut her hair.
All right.
It shouldn't have.
All right.
This is why we can't have nice things. Like,
Well, here she look like she ain't have nice things.
I know. Braxton Ever After.
Ooh,
Tracy was over it as soon as she sat down. She was not feeling it. I don't really blame her. Mama Evelyn had exactly no time for Iyanla from the beginning.
Yeah,
She was like, "You don't need no commitment from me." I was like, "Ooh,
right,
ooh, feisty."
right. That was that old church mother feistiness there.
Okay, that was exactly. That's one of them old hen fights.
Right. Emphasis on the hen.
So there were a few things that stood out to me, but like I said, the good stuff was in the next episode, so we'll get through this pretty quickly. But when Iyanla basically had Tony admit that she's kind of always been disappointed in who Tamar is as a person with her big personality, I was like, oh, that's... And she said it herself, and I thought, she was like, that's not a nice thing to feel. I was like, girl, you basically was like, I don't fuck with my baby sister because she trash. And she always been trash. No, that's not nice. Tony, girl.
What you doing, Tony?
I mean, she was walking in her truth, but goddamn.
I mean,
Tamar is animated.
Yeah,
but I could see being able to handle that better if I had been around her since birth.
Yeah,
and she had always been like that, I could see it. But
she was being more conditioned to it. But
right, but from the outside looking in, everybody be like, "Bitch, you need to simmer down."
Right. She's like, "Girl, shut up."
That too, as well. Shutting up is free. It's delicious and nutritious.
Right.
All that neck rolling and all that shit she doing with her head, and you see she feeling herself even more now that she don't have no hair.
But she's just so extra, like. And I'm all for a person being themselves, like, all the time. Like, be you if that's who you are. But I just feel like she's putting on a character of
herself, a character.
Herself. Like,
you know who it remind me of, and we talked about this a little bit. It remind me of, and Curtis touched on it this a bit last week. It remind me of Mariah on Married to Medicine, where it's like Mariah a crazy bitch, but it's like she put on even more when the cameras are rolling.
Oh yeah, you know that shit is.
Oh my gosh, like tone it down some, like, because we're such like good readers of like people and their characters. It's just like it doesn't even seem genuine at this point. It's just like say you're doing this so you can get like an extra G in your paycheck, but like just it's so cringeworthy sometimes too, because it's like, I know damn well you ain't carrying on like this in your everyday life when you go out. I just know this.
Yeah.
Like
that's exhausting.
It is.
Now, I will say on the flip side of that, I don't believe that that's true for Heavenly, because her family be looking old.
No. Don't get me started on that old.
We'll get there. We're on show. We'll get there. So a few other things from this episode. When they were talking about incomplete conversations, what really stood out to me is when Iyanla, and let me say this, I don't subscribe to Iyanla. I don't feel like she's qualified to do the things that she does. Like, I'm not saying that she can't be a life coach, but the depths that she goes to, I don't feel like she's equipped to handle it when she takes people to those depths of their emotions and feelings.
She has Twitter nigga psychology 101.
Right. So I really hope that like a licensed therapist, a psychiatrist is coming in after her to clean up. But from what we've heard about people who've been on the show, I don't think that that's the case. Right. So I'll issue a good luck, everybody.
Don't nobody life be fixed. It's still be in bankruptcy.
Okay. Still out here just a hot mess. I bet you that man who had them 36 kids probably still out here having kids.
Right.
And them damn Barbie dolls.
He probably triggered every time he go down the toy aisle, see all them goddamn dolls. But yeah, so they did say something good about the incomplete conversations when she was like, you don't say what you feel and what you want, but then you get mad when you don't get it.
Right.
And the reason why that stood out to me is because I feel like a lot of people are guilty of that. I feel like even we can be honest, or I can be, let me speak for myself. I can be honest and say that I've been guilty of that myself sometimes. Like sometimes you want people to anticipate your needs so badly that you get into this cycle of not speaking up and telling people what it is that you need. Like,
yeah, I remember
talking about it with my therapist once, like feeling like, okay, I want my friends to kind of just know what's going on with me and how to deal with me without opening my mouth. And I have to look back on that and be like, that sounded fuck stupid.
Yeah.
Like nobody's a mind reader. Most of my friends don't even live in the same city. So there's a lot of barriers. Nobody is Professor X or Jean Grey in this bitch. Like, open up your black ass mouth and let people know what you need. So I thought that stood out. That was a pretty good point. What else?
I agree. I feel like most people can relate to that. See, sometimes it's not necessarily Rhonda, but sometimes off-brand, some good reflective things can come from her carrying on.
Right. You know what they say, a broken clock is right twice a day.
Right.
So I'll give her that. What else stood out to me? Mama Evelyn, she was determined in this episode anyway. She was determined. She said, I'm not taking the blame for these little girl shit. You got me fucked up.
Yeah.
And then the part where Iyanla was like, tell me what the Braxton family values are. And she started writing that shit down. And I was like, y'all don't actually know what y'all values are. Because if that shit didn't feel like regurgitated schoolhouse rock,
Conjunction, junction, what's your function?
And all of it was common sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and then so y'all got the nerve to not really have no values.
Some shit that you would see on a goddamn fortune cookie.
Right. The shit that y'all came up with was common sense, and y'all don't even practice that. I can see why y'all was looking like, no wonder y'all fucked up.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Mm.
Oh, the part that made my jaw drop when Iyanla said, I think it was in the confessional, but it wasn't in the confessional, when they were saying something about giving up. And she was like talking to Mama Evelyn and Michael Braxton Sr. And she was like, well, y'all kind of gave up getting divorced. I was like, bitch, what? I was like, wait a minute. I was like, see, you give her an inch and she takes 17 miles. Like, what is you even doing?
It's like you can't never root for nobody named Rhonda.
Listen, I was like, what you mean? They gave up. We have to stop looking at divorce as if something is always bad or horrible, because a lot of times people need to be getting fucking divorced because the marriage is shit.
We'll get there, especially when we get to Married to Medicine.
And then on top of that, hell, the marriage breakdown could not have been good for the dynamic, and then the divorce was a mess on top. Anyway,
yeah.
But that I was just like, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, leave it to Rhonda because she will rub you the wrong way.
Okay,
It's never gonna fade. Even like you say, a broken clock right twice a day.
but it's wrong at every other time.
Right.
Oh, so that was day 1 of the 3-day healing retreat or whatever the fuck they called it. Day 2, Tony was late. Tamar didn't show up until 3:45, and they were supposed to be there at 1:30.
Yeah.
Like I was a little confused by the time because they were like, "Oh, we was gonna cook breakfast and everybody was gonna eat breakfast," and I'm like, "Well, if the call sheet wasn't until 11, why?" I just
like nigga,
like
y'all having brunch.
Well, I'm assuming that they were supposed to get together and have breakfast of their own accord beforehand, and then the call sheet to start like filming and stuff would have been 11. But I'm like, but that's lunchtime. I'm confused.
Right.
And then they were supposed to come back at 1:30. I was like, I was real confused by the call times, but I don't know how TV works, so
yeah,
whatever.
It could have been edited or whatever, but
Yeah, and then so Iyanla came in there and was laying the smackdown because she was pissed. She was up the fuck set. When she
Chain Chomps are angry, so
they are and hungry. Maybe she was hungry. She needed a Snickers.
Yeah.
She was hungry.
Yes.
she needed a mushroom.
When she said that they vexed her spirit, I was like, girl, I was like, you better be personally affronted by them being tardy for the party. That shit had me in tears. She scolded them, and then she left.
Listen, you better be vexed in the spirit of your ancestor, Chain Chomp. Go ahead.
Listen, she was like, Harriet Tubman did not
right
go down the Underground Railroad.
She did not
tardiness.
She did not just sit there and eat her rice
with her fucking shiny fork and her fucking shiny white bowl.
You're doing amazing, Lexi.
Oh my god! Speaking of a crazy beat. Anyway, anyway,
oh,
so that was pretty much all the good stuff from episode 15. So episode 16, which was the season finale, I believe, was called Truth and Consequences. So let's see what stood out to me in this episode. First of all, Tamar showed up and she was dressed like she was about to go compete on a Road Rules Real World Challenge. And I had confusion. Even Tawanda was like, girl, why you show up like you about to go to battle? What is you wearing? And I was like, true.
She was dressed like Tessa Thompson was in goddamn Thor Ragnarok.
Right. I felt like Miss E and even Tamar had a point when they kind of called Iyanla out about leaving. Although at the same time, I don't blame her because you done wasted my whole fucking day.
Right.
Like, first, we supposed to be there at 11, and then she was like, I ate in the car from my lap. And I was like, why would you do that? And they got that big ass house. Like, you the fuck stupid.
Okay. Like, come on. Y'all.
Hey, Rhonda, fix my plate.
Listen. And then she's like, and then I show up at 1:30 and Tony ain't here. She on a conference call, and then Tamar didn't show up till 3:45. I'd have been mad too. Like, I'm going home. I'm gonna go take me a nap because y'all playing
in my face.
In my face.
Right in front of my plate.
Listen. Right in front of my Mario.
Yeah.
So Trina showed up. Wait, was it Trina? No, not Trina. It was Tracy. Sorry, I get Trina and Tracy's names screwed up. So Trina was the one that looked terrible, and Tracy was the one that she was the one that continued going to work because she was like, I need a check.
Correct.
So Tracy showed up with the energy of a lion, and I've caught a few episodes of Braxton Family Values over the years, and I feel like every episode I've ever seen, Tamar be fighting with everybody, but her fights with Tracy be something else. Like, she be downright just disrespectful to Tawanda. But her fights with Tracy be something. Like, I remember that one episode where Tracy was getting in her face and she was like, I'll beat your ass. She was like, you doing all this shit for these cameras. You forgot, little girl. I'll beat your ass. I was like, woo.
She was like, on these cameras, you want to do this.
But then when I leave, you don't want to post up.
No. Tracy was like, when we leave, we gon' post up. We gonna take it back to the old days when we was growing up and I used to beat your ass. I was like, woo. But anyway,
childhood jumped out.
Correct. So then Tamar and Iyanla started going at it like lions in the jungle, because
and that was good TV.
It was, but you know what? It felt like watching a Twitter argument, because it was one of those things where nobody wanted to validate anybody else's personal experience.
Yeah.
It was like, if I haven't experienced it, then it's not real,
right?
Or you don't get to say what your experience is because I know better than you.
Mm-hmm.
And they both like talking over each other and stuff.
Yeah, it felt like two people trying to outquote each other.
Right. While both being dumb.
Yeah.
So then they kind of circle back and they were trying to get to the root of why Tamar is Tamar, basically. And that whole "they left you behind" thing, I kind of felt like that was a cop-out. Like, I can see how that would be hurtful. Like, you got 5 sisters and they all older than you and they all kind of just go start living their lives and doing whatever. And you the baby, so you kind of left behind, but you still acting out about that shit and you over 40. So I have questions and concerns.
At your big age.
At your big bald age, I have questions.
Like, girl, go to therapy or some shit.
Right, a real therapist.
Right, yeah. Emphasis on real therapist.
And I'm not even trying to be shady. When Iyanla's name came up, nowhere did it say any kind of therapist. It had no kind of letters about any certifications or degrees in therapy. It said spiritual life coach.
Yeah,
spiritual life coach, a therapist. Those are two different things. Anyway,
correct.
And then the part that took me down, and this they did show on like Twitter or something, when Iyanla and Tamar were going at it, and this woman at her advanced age fixed all 17 rows of them teeth in that mouth to say that she got underwear that are older than Tamar. And everybody looked like, excuse me? Because if you start doing the math, Tamar is over 40 years old. So that begs the question, how the fuck do you still have panty drawers from over 40 years ago, number one? Number two, how the fuck do you still have panty drawers from over 40 years ago that you can still fit?
Right.
And number three, you've been on TV and getting to the money. Why are you still recycling drawers, ma'am?
Let's talk about it.
I had a lot of questions.
Because I'm like, you doing what?
Because I just can't see myself being in an argument with somebody that's younger than me and being like, I got boxer briefs older than you. I sound the fuck stupid.
And like trifling.
And gross. And trifling. Like underwear not that expensive.
They're really not.
You can get you some new Fruit of the Loom.
You can get the 7-pack from Target for like $10.
Yeah, you can spend $20 to get you some more panty drawers. So I was real confused. I'm like, what kind of life have you been leading, ma'am? Like
what's going on? Like, the check's not on time. Like, why is it that you have undergarments that old? Like, I wouldn't brag about that.
I would not. And it's
Listen, when she said it, I had to pause. I watched it on the website. When she said that, I had to pause it and rewind it. I was so confused. And I turned into the blinking white man. I was like, "You got who and you got whomst?"
And the thing about it is, I took it as just like, you know, a joking type thing. But then she started doubling down and be like, "And they're clean," and I was like, "You." So this is not a joke. You actually got decades old draws
that you are bragging about. Like, what is that you?
And I'm just like, even if you have that many pairs of panties that you don't even wear every pair that often, 40 years plus is a long fucking time.
So you can fix lies, but you can't fix your draws. Like, I'm confusion.
Listen, I don't give a damn how much gain you use, bitch. Throw them panties away. What is you doing? The only thing I thought about when she said that is like, this is why nobody takes your ass serious.
Right.
I have underwear older than you, Missy. Excuse me? How do you think you win in the argument with that? Anyway.
Oh, God. Oh, man. That had me in tears. I was like, see.
Peaky Yonla.
Peak Rhonda. Because that sounds like some shit that a Rhonda would say.
Well, yeah. What else stood out to me? One thing that really stood out to me was, and it was very interesting to see, and Bree and I have talked about this before. Shout out to Bree from Mama Meets World podcast. It was interesting to see everybody like chasing respect while not wanting to give it.
Mm-hmm.
And she and I have had this discussion about how Black people in particular do that. Like, Black people, especially Black parents, are so consumed with wrenching respect out of people around them in close quarters.
Yeah. And even in particular,
family.
Yeah.
And one of my theories on that was, you want to demand. It's one thing to demand respect, but the lengths that Black people go through sometimes to get it from other Black people, or specifically from their family, it's like, it almost feels like you feel like you're not getting this respect in other aspects of your life, so you're gonna
project,
drain it from your family to the point where you not being respectful, you're not hearing people out and all of that kind of stuff. So that was kind of interesting to see in real time. And I feel like a lot of us do that. Like I said, when she and I had that conversation, we were talking specifically about our parents, but hell, you see that shit on the timeline on a daily basis. Niggas in their 20s and 30s doing that shit. Like, I will be respected above all else. And it's like, there's levels, like there's steps that you have to go through to get respect from people. Like, you demand respect, but you have to do so in a respectful manner. Nobody is respecting you just for coming and trying to put your dick on the table or your labia, I don't know, and be like,
put your titty on the table,
right? And be like, respect me or else. Like, ain't nobody gonna respect that shit. Get the fuck out of people's face with that. So anyway,
that breeds contempt.
Correct. And so then Tamar and Iyanla are going at it. And then Miss E got fed up with Tamar and she went full soul food. She was like, we got to be that fist. She was like, listen, you will respect her. Y'all wasn't raised. So I was like, girl, this is a hot mess. This is a woman in her 40s.
Right, this
being scolded by her mama about respecting her elders.
On national TV.
On national TV.
So then
with Tamar looking the way that she looked.
Well,
good luck.
Yes. So then Tamar walked out. She went and got in the car and turned the air up, she said, to take a break. And then Iyanla followed her out there for a follow-up. So then she started doing like private sessions. She pulled people aside. And so I didn't understand really why she had Trina and Tawanda at the same time, but I guess it worked. And then she had Miss Evelyn and the dad at the same time. But she did Tracy and Tony by themselves. But it was interesting to see the two sides of that walkout drama with Tracy and the sister, because Tracy was like, I signed a contract and a bitch is trying to get a check.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, well, we all agreed, and I wish you would have just told me you was going to work. And I'm like, that sounds good to say now, hindsight, but I feel like that would have been a huge bone of contention if she had called and been like, fuck what y'all saying. If we don't film, we don't get paid, and I needs to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna be at work. I don't know what y'all gonna be doing. Like it's a nice sentiment when you sitting up here talking about it, but at the time, we all know that shit would not have flown.
Right.
Y'all have been just as upset. What else? And then it got to the point where when Iyanla was talking to the parents and about their divorce and everything, and it felt like now they were resting on this whole, all of the issues are, or a majority of them are because of the divorce and because of their parents. And I was like, I can see how that can cause an issue in children, but
these grown motherfuckers.
Everybody is over 40. Toni Braxton is in her 50s. Like, at some point, you have to take ownership of you compounding on top of an issue that you had or something that happened to you or you had to go through. You have to take ownership for, okay, there was this issue and I didn't deal with it, and then I packed a whole bunch of shit on top of it.
Right, because yeah, I agree. Because it
just kind of felt like a cop out. Like,
because it's like,
and y'all divorce is what fucked us up, and it's like, okay, but that had to have been at least 30 years ago.
Right. And at this point, let's not act like, okay, that that divorce might have fucked y'all up, but y'all adding other shit on top of it. That is independent of that divorce.
Right. And it's like,
which you are not taking accountability for. And if you don't take no accountability, and I hate to quote Rhonda, but look in the mirror, beloved, then nothing is gonna get done.
Right, because it's like, okay, that's I'm not saying that it's not valid to a degree, but while y'all are sitting here talking about how you don't want to do XYZ with the family because the family judges you and but nobody took the personal accountability to be like, what is going on with me and what in my past is fucking me up, and dealt with it accordingly. Like, y'all just started taking it
should
out
not have came
other.
to no goddamn Rhonda.
No.
Yeah.
Basically.
It is what it is. So then when Iyanla was talking to Miss Evelyn, and Miss Evelyn was like, I don't know this nigga. I don't like this nigga. I don't want to know or like this nigga. I don't love him no more.
Why are you in my presence?
And he was he was a little offended. He was like, bitch, what the fuck? When Iyanla asked him, he was like,
God damn. Shit.
Right. He was like, I mean, I still got feelings. Like, I don't hate her. And you know what? It's always funny when you see those kind of situations and a man realizes how much he fucked up and how much a woman from his past don't fuck with him, and they be so genuinely confused.
He was looking like, damn, baby, it's like that shit.
Yes. This is why we say men are trash. Because y'all, men, myself included, I am a man. I mean, I would like to think I'm not a trash man, but I'm not perfect. But men on average,
correct,
just be so fucking unaware of the damage and carnage that they cause to people.
Right.
And then when they get called out on it, they be like, I didn't know.
Oh, I didn't think it was that bad.
Right.
Nigga, please. Nigga,
I'm trying to remember. I wish Candace was here because didn't he like cheat and all kinds of shit?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that was why they got divorced. So it's like, how would you not have known? And just all of the interactions that I've seen between them, she keep it very cute and curt.
Yep.
She'd be like, "Oh, how you doing? Thanks. Bye."
Yeah.
You know, like that ain't nobody that fucks with you. How did you not know, sir? But
he thinking this damn, I can't talk. He thinking this supposed to be a goddamn Swiss Beats Alicia and Mashonda situation.
Okay. And Miss Evelyn said, "Not me."
Right.
So then we get to Toni, and I don't know. I just it was something interesting about that because you can see that Tony has been carrying that burden and the guilt of being the one who made it for like 30 years. Like 30 years. Tony Braxton came out in what? 1990, 1992?
Yeah,
It's 2018. And
Yep.
she's still carrying that. That's a long fucking time.
Yep.
Like she's in her 50s.
Yep.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And I felt kind of sad for her because when she was like, I want to do different types of music and da-da-da-da. And Rhonda was like, well, why can't you do it? And Tony was like, I'm an old bitch. What you talking? And I was like, girl, you 50, you're not dead. What are you saying?
Right. You can
like,
reinvent.
If you want to go do orchestral selections, then go do it.
Like, girl, you married Birdman, like, and you could do anything. You shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do any and everything. But I mean, who's stopping you now? So
yeah, you and they did have that revelation. So when she was like, I haven't given myself permission to soar. I felt her though when she was like, basically like my family has been a burden and I haven't allowed myself to really soar the way I wanted to because basically shit, they were paperweights to me. I was like, ooh.
Ooh, that was heavy. Ooh,
yes, it definitely was. So then they get to the white table and I laughed when Tawanda was like, are we taking communion? Like, what's going on? So they went around the table and they started confessing things and apologizing to each other. And this part still laid me out when Tony, and she was so stoic when she said it. She was like, I don't like nobody in my family. She's like, I love y'all because y'all my family, but I do not like y'all. If we were not family, we would not be friends.
And you know what? I felt that on a nigga level.
I felt that on every level.
Yes.
Tony was like, I don't like you bitches. Like, y'all couldn't run in my circle. You lucky we sisters.
But
it was just like her face.
What's that saying? You can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family.
I was just like, I can't imagine what it would have been like to sit there and hear that though. Like your big sister, the sister that you've looked up to for years and years and years, and
saying, "Girl, fuck you,"
worked with and done all because Tamar, and I think all of them at one point, but I know Tamar has been behind the scenes with Tony's career for a long time, writing and singing background and stuff. Or I mean, really any of them to just be like, hell, imagine being a mama and your oldest daughter be like, I don't like none of y'all.
Right.
And she emphasis none.
Yeah, right. Your own daughter saying, "Girl, fuck you."
Because I think somebody tweeted this. I saw it. Like I know Mama Evelyn was expecting to hear, except for Mama, and Tony was like, everyone.
Right.
I was like, ooh.
I think a lot of times it's a dynamic that comes into play, like especially being the oldest child, and I'm only going by like what my mom has shared with me is that a lot of times when you're the oldest, you're put in the position of somewhat becoming the second parent to kids that you didn't ask for. It's like your parents are looking for you to take on the responsibility of something that they really should be carrying, and then it's like, oh, well, like you're the oldest, so you need to be doing this and you should be doing that. And like,
I can attest to that because I remember my parents.
To be the second parent, like
exactly.
I want to be a kid first, So it's like
I remember my parents telling them, "You got to set an example for your brother," and volunteering your whole summer to babysit. And it's just like you do what you got to do for the family because they had to work, but at the same time, I think a lot of times we're not cognizant of the things that our parents took from us in order to raise everybody. So, and Tony even said that she was like, I had to be a second mom. I had to be a step-in mom when our mother got hurt. She fell and she was in the hospital for a long time. I was like, woo, Toni Braxton carrying a lot, y'all. She carrying a lot that we don't know about. I know we make jokes about her bankruptcy and all that kind of stuff, but one thing that I've kind of been cognizant of over the last few years is recognizing the humanity in these celebrities, unless they trash, in which case they can go to hell.
Correct.
Because I'm not wasting my time trying to see your humanity if you're out here calling my LGBT brethren faggots and all that kind of shit. You can suck my dick.
Yeah, you can't see the empathy in people that don't have empathy for others.
Right. But, you know, people who don't bother nobody, like Toni Braxton ain't never bothered nobody.
Correct.
All she did was sing her songs and be short and cute and fine.
Correct.
That's it.
Right.
Shit.
So it was
bankruptcies were like circumstantial too. Like they weren't.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, do y'all remember that whole controversy when she filed for bankruptcy the first time and Oprah was like scolding her about buying expensive cutlery and stuff?
She was like, I would never like do that. I know I make more than you. And it's like, instead of you scolding her, you should also be like trying to take her under your wing. Like, this is her first time having to deal with something of this nature. Like,
right.
The game way longer.
Only for us to find out that her deal was shitty. She wasn't making as much money as she should have been.
You know,
and trying to take care of her family.
Right. You
It was
know,
a lot she had going on. Like, I don't know. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But
one day we have to have an honest conversation about Mother Oprah because
it's definitely needed and long overdue, without question.
Well, that day ain't today. So
correct.
They were going around the room. Everybody was confessing and crying. Well, not crying. So then they got to Tamar, and Tamar started vibrating like the engine of a Cadillac when she got emotional. You know what it reminded me of when she started getting emotional? You know that gif of that cat that's like shaking, and then they cut in Shaq doing the shoulder shit. That was what it reminded me of. But
Tamar Braxton.
Yeah. And you know, she was emotional and barely able to get words out and crying, but she didn't have any tears. Now I did see towards the end, because I know a lot of people called that out, her eyes were red. So I wonder if it was like they were like cutting the tears out in the editing process. I don't know. But she definitely didn't have any tears, but her eyes were red. So I don't know. But basically, everybody was like, this is the most honest and genuine we've ever seen Tamar be. Tawanda specifically was like, she said this kind of stuff to me before, but it's never been this genuine. And I was like, well, I mean, it looks like they're having a nice family moment. Is it going to maintain? I don't know. Because I don't know if they really solved a lot of stuff. Like, there's a difference between uncovering issues and acknowledging issues and actually dealing with them and solving.
I think they put a lot on the table. The question is now, are they going to do the work to solve it? And I mean, I personally, I doubt it. But
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to count them out, but definitely, we can all recognize amongst the 7 of them, and I don't even know where the brother factors into any of this, because they do have a brother that we hardly ever see. There's a lot of work to be done, so I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if they gonna have another season of the show and show how they're doing the work or show improvement in their relations. I don't know, but I don't have nothing against the Braxtons. I don't either. I wish them the best.
I don't have anything against them, and I wish them the best. I guess I'm not rooting against them. I hope that they work it out. And I'm just going from like personal experience of what I've observed, and then some things even in my own family. It's sometimes it's not likely. I put it that all the issues get solved, but I'm rooting for them. I hope they do. I hope they work it out.
Yeah, I hope that they take this session. That this is one of the few times where I feel like Iyanla actually did something positive.
Yeah, even in her.
But again, but again, it's that same thing of uncovering all that stuff. But then everybody's just left with a bunch of baggage, and it's like, are they gonna have the foresight and the initiative to get some therapists, get some licensed people in there to help them work through that stuff? I don't know.
Right.
The last thing I'll say, and then we'll move on. When I tell you I yelled when Tony called her Ayana in her confession because I am petty.
Right.
Oh, that shit had me in tears. I'm grateful to Ayana. I was like, Tony. Oh, so that was Braxton Family Values, the last 2 episodes. I think it was some pretty good TV. Like I said,
Agreed.
Every now and then, Rhonda or Iyanla, whatever you want to call her, because I know some people feel a way about not calling her by the name she goes by. And I'm not taking that away from you or invalidating that. I feel like she does deliver good TV sometimes.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of times it'd be cringeworthy.
Yeah.
But this was good TV, and I feel like it wasn't like cringy. It wasn't like when she had Hazel Lee on there, because
child. Ooh.
that shit did not work because Hazel Lee looked like a whole new bridge. But anyway,
listen, Hazel.
Very dark moment.
Hazel Lee done transformed into young baby before our eyes.
correct. So let's move on.
Yes.
Married to Medicine. So this was episode 5, entitled Heavenly Homecoming. So first and foremost, and I'll let y'all get some words in. I don't know how I feel about Mariah's daughter's first OBGYN experience being on the show. Even though they didn't, like, obviously they couldn't show like the depth of the conversation that she had with Dr. Simone. I don't know. It just felt, I don't know. I don't know.
It didn't sit. Well, I'm gonna be completely honest and transparent. I fast forwarded that part for 2 reasons. One being I wasn't necessarily comfortable with it. I just felt like that's something that could have not been on the show.
Right, like her very first one.
Yeah, right. It just didn't sit right with me. So I fast forwarded through that part for that reason. And the other reason I fast forwarded is a petty reason, and that's because fuck Mariah. So,
well, that was expected. So,
but yeah, it didn't sit right in my nigga sense. But yeah, we can move on.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So then Quad went to Dr. Jackie's house, and I was hollering at Quad, calling Jackie out about not cooking. Jackie was like, I cooked for you. And Quad was like, cooked where?
Quad, my Quad.
Quad was like, she orders and then she plates. I was like, you don't have to do that, Quad.
I was like, Jackie, cook hoops.
She's like, no. And then they were so petty for rolling back that footage from last season when they had that cooking challenge, and Dr. Jackie was just sitting up there. Boy was like, help. Dr. Jackie was like, girl, this is not my ministry. If you want to come see me in my office all day cooking, no ma'am.
She was like, I am Dr. Jackie, not Chef Jackie. Okay,
that's it. That is it. But the conversation that she and Quad had, I thought was really good until Greg started interrupting. And it felt so typical, and I'll see what y'all think about it, but it felt so typical. It was like you fuck up with your significant other, and then when they're not around, you like beat down their walls trying to figure out where they are because you scared they out doing the shit that you was doing. Because when he called and she finally answered, she was like, what do you want, Gregory? And he was like, I want to know where my wife is.
So now you want to know where your wife is.
And she was like, I'm out.
You want to know where your wife is now. You didn't want to know where your wife was when you was in the hotel with somebody that's not your wife. But
okay, you weren't worried about where your wife was then. You was worried about where your little dick was trying to go. Emphasis on will. Which, okay, so can I say this? And y'all can call me trash if you want to, but I feel like Quad deserves big, good dick. Like if it's true that Dr. Greg got a little bit of dick, I feel like she should just go ahead and divorce. Like, go get you some good dick. That might be petty, but I want good things for Quad, including dick. Like,
Listen, go ahead, listen.
I just, honestly, I feel like those two, they just weren't a good match to begin with. Like, looking at the dynamics of their relationship now, like, those two probably should have never got married. Like,
Nope.
never. Like, I'm pretty sure they both were looking for something. And, you know, I was having this conversation the other day with a girlfriend. Like, sometimes you genuinely entertain people out of sheer boredom. I know that's something I do, but I'm working on that. But it's just like,
We stand a self-aware queen.
I feel like those two just got together because they were bored and they're like, let's give it a whirl. And now they're stuck. Well, not necessarily stuck, but they're in like a loveless, lifeless, toxic marriage. Like, I don't know. They just need to end it, call it a day. Because it's like, I feel like there are certain conversations that you should have with your partner before you even think about taking the next step, as far as like finances, you know, like your mental health history, you know, whether or not you want to have children, because it's like Dr. Greg's like, well, I want kids, Quad, I want kids. And then
this impersonation.
and then Quad is just like, yeah, no, like, I'm not ready. And it's like, well, he keeps nagging you for these kids. And it's like, I don't know how long they've been married, but it's like, at what point are you just going to be like truthful with him and be like, that's just not for me?
Well, and it's not even that. Like, she said it on the previous season. It's not that she don't want to have kids. It's that she doesn't want to try to have kids to be a bomb for their raggedy marriage. She's like, I don't want to bring kids into this.
Yeah, I don't want to bring kids into toxicity.
Yeah, like,
and especially like the way you talking to me, like I ain't got no good mind, like right now, like, and then if I get kids, I think Candace said this before, like if I get pregnant, you definitely gonna be a motherfucker then,
right? Because then you're gonna feel like I'm really stuck.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
but I feel like Dr. Jackie is probably the best person to talk to Quad about this, being that they basically have similar situations where their husbands have been in cases of infidelity. I will say that I feel like Curtis.
Put a pin in that. I know what you're gonna say. We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Okay.
So then we go to Dr. Heavenly's house, and her youngest son is Dr. Heavenly. Sorry, I'm getting Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Simone over by the ass confused. So her son came home from college, I think. And I was like, oh, I said, Heavenly and Dr. Damon, they made a nice looking son.
Yeah.
And then she started being stupid.
Yo, like
when she dragged her, when I tell you I was in here yelling, because she was like, you need a woman like your mama. You don't need no pretty bitch. And then she was like, wait.
Nigga.
Nigga,
I was crying. First of all,
I was like, we do stand a self-aware queen. Like, at least you know you're not that cute.
Yeah. But man, I don't know what it is. Like, and I know we'll get here because I mean we'll wrap around this a little bit later. Or I guess we could go ahead and get it all the way out now, depending on how Curtis feels. But like when Heavenly, like when she, and really all the women on the cast, but specifically Heavenly, like when she was like, he don't need none of these young hoes, and that shit is so cringeworthy.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That shit is,
I forgot to write that part down. I was like, and it's like a lot of
come on with it, friend.
We know a lot of women are guilty of this, like this whole
internalized misogyny.
Like, my son is this king of all kings. He King Tut, you know, pharaoh of all pharaohs, and every girl is a hoe unless she is purified in the lakes of Minnetonka and shit. And it's like that shit. It upholds all of that patriarchal bullshit.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, if a girl talking to him, that she must be a hoe.
Yeah, or she wants something from him,
or she wants something from him, and it's like
it's so much internalized misogyny.
yes, there you go. Those are the words that I was looking for. But it's also Dr. Heavenly.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
Oh my God.
surprised.
That lady, she's the worst fucking person ever. Like, just her whole presence bothers me. Like it, as my grandmother says, it makes my butt itch. Like she's always loud and wrong, and then her weaves always look a mess, and then she's always trying to comfort somebody. And it's like, bitch, have you passed a mirror today or yesterday, last night, last week? Like, you got some fucking nerve coming for somebody's look. And she always looks like she has like the Michael Jordan butter eyes because she's always throwing back Crown Royal. It's like, girl, if you don't get it, she makes me so mad. I can't stand her. Like, how are you named Heavenly and you act like hell all the time? Like,
a whole demon. A whole demon.
Understand. Oh my God. Like,
Dr. Lucifer.
All right.
Dr. Michael Gabriel, like, oh my God, like
Dr. Beelzebub.
like
Lexi is disgusted.
she makes me so fucking mad. Like,
hey, look, it done been a minute. We don't forgot when Lexi get on the roll, it's a wrap.
Okay. I mean, I ain't mad at you because that lady is bonkers.
Correct.
She is. It's like she's one of those people that she can dish it. She can call you names. She can talk about your family. But then the moment you say something about her or in hers, it's like, don't talk about my family. I got my family. Daddy would never. Like, I'm pretty sure Daddy has and would and will. Because if he had to come home and deal with you every fucking day, I would do that. Like, please.
In that one confessional when she was asking him if he wanted a bunch of wives, and he was like, "You are more than enough." I was like, "Ooh."
Like she is. She's too much. Like,
too much.
Yeah,
I agree.
Like
I said before, I like Damon, but I don't like him for Heavenly because Heavenly a crazy bitch.
He is.
You know what? I'm gonna take a different stance, and I'm gonna say I like Damon for Heavenly because that means she ain't out here terrorizing somebody else.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
You're right. You're right.
If he willing and he there and
clearly he has the inner peace to deal with her because
listen, Dr. Damon is the kind of you go to him and be like, thank you for your service.
Thank you for taking this hell demon off the street.
Listen. So the men of the show, the husbands, they had a kickback or whatever.
Yeah, I think Eugene hosted it, which I have thoughts about Eugene, but we'll get there.
Eugene kind of a bitch, but I mean, okay. We're on one accord, friend.
I mean, honestly, truly.
I mean, I said Eugene a little bit of a cuck, like. But anyway, so my first thought when they had this kickback and everybody started pulling up, I said, how did Curtis fit his tall ass in that little bitty car from Bad Boys?
Big ass nigga.
I'm like, he got to be like 6'5". Like, how did you fold yourself into that little bitty ass car? But
I'm telling you, like, nigga, you it's like watching a scene on Game of Thrones with the mountain. Like, how you fit through that tiny ass door?
Right. Like them them commercials when Shaq was trying to get into them Lincoln cars. Like, if you don't get your big ass out of this MKZ knowing you can't fit.
Oh, skyscraper ass nigga.
So yeah, they all showed up, and of course, you know, I stand for Cecil.
Yeah.
And Dr. Scott.
Yeah.
And the rest of them also were there.
Yeah. Also, real quick, God bless Dr. Contessa.
We'll get there.
Okay.
So basically they started talking and Greg asked Curtis what was up or whatever. However that exchange went, and Dr. Curtis was like, things are getting better day by day. And then Greg was like, what's your secret? And I was like, sir, you old peanut M&M head ass bitch fool. Like, what you mean? What's the secret? He's doing the work.
Something that you are not.
About? You haven't even gotten to the point where you realize that there's work to be done.
Mm-hmm. But that's been his thing. Like, he's never wanted to do the work. Like, even before he cheated, like, we've seen him in Quad's dynamic. Like, now I know people have their faults or issues with Quad, which, you know what, you're entitled to your opinion. In my opinion, I feel that Quad has tried to get both of them to do work, but it's hard to get to that point and try to work on your marriage when your husband has the mindset of a goddamn caveman in the 1800s and shit. Quad can't do it on her own, and we see what the point is gotten to with him stepping out and cheating or doing some shit he ain't had no damn business doing with somebody that's not his wife.
Basically, that shit was cheating. Whether he stuck his dick in or not,
right?
He had the intention. Like, you might as well call a thing a thing.
Like, but I said that because some people.
I don't give a damn about some people.
Well,
call a thing a thing.
Well,
yeah.
On this here show, that's what we do. That nigga cheated.
That is correct.
Whether he smashed or not, if you believe his story that he was mad that he couldn't go in raw, you still cheated. You had every intention of doing it, and the only reason you didn't is because she wasn't trying to take no shrimp dick raw.
Right.
She was like, you got to wrap it up. But anyway, we're not here to discuss that. So staying on Greg for a little while, like, he's still making excuses and he wonder why he don't have a part. Like, it's just so weird. Like, you have humiliated this woman. You humiliated her on the
reunion.
At the reunion. Then all this shit came out when the girl went to the press. And like, she is humiliated. You've humiliated her. You've cheated on her. And then you sitting there trying to play victim. I thought I was going to have a partner in this. Like, what?
I just want my wife back, but it's hard when it's hard when I don't know where my wife is. Well,
he was like, oh, it's hard to want to, basically saying he don't want to put in the effort because he feel unwanted. And it's like, why would you feel wanted at this point? It's not for you to be feeling wanted. You need to make her feel wanted. Because you're the one with the transgression. Like, what the fuck is you talking about?
Right.
And so then when they went around to Cecil, and Cecil basically hemmed them up, and he was like, listen, he was like, I realized that I had not done and was not doing everything in my power to save my marriage.
Something
to Greg, like, are you? I mean, he didn't say it, but it was kind of one of those things that was left up. It was like, are you doing everything in your power to save your marriage?
Yeah.
Like, you have this expectation, but you're not doing anything.
Right.
You're not putting in any work.
And you have this expectation of Quad, but not that of yourself.
Correct. Like, you feel like you can just show up and everything's supposed to be okay because what? You still there? Like, you got this woman sleeping upstairs in the guest bedroom. And to me, I feel like she's giving you an opportunity. Because anybody else, like, I feel like Quad is good enough on money that she don't need to stay there if she don't want to.
Agreed.
She giving you access to her.
Which is more than you deserve, to be honest.
Way more than you deserve. And your little Mini Cooper, you old bitch.
Right. Mini Cooper, mini dick, mini mentality. Like, you just a miniature.
Mini voice, mini head, that big ass body. Like,
mini voice, everything.
Yo.
Just minuscule.
You know what Dr. Greg looks like? You know in Beetlejuice when they go to the, I don't know, it's like the office for like the dead, and it's like a whole bunch of dead people in there, and there's the guy who has on like the camel colored jumper, but his head's mad small because somebody blew it off. I'm gonna send you guys a picture because you know what I'm talking about. Like, that's exactly right. But
listen, Dr. Greg looked like the Coneheads went to the hood. Because that is a conical head. But anyway.
Oh my gosh.
So then we swift away And we get to the annoying couple that is Toya and Eugene. And my question is this: why, after all of the financial problems that they have had, why do y'all need a 9,000 square foot, $2 million house?
Listen, let me talk to the listeners real quick. As the resident Metro Atlantean of the podcast, listen, let me tell you something. These niggas, the word that Eugene called them, and they got mad like some sedity ass. Never mind. Anyway, these niggas are trying to buy a house in Alpharetta. Now, let me tell you something. Alpharetta is the part of Metro Atlanta where it's only two groups of people up there. Goddamn Middle Eastern people and affluent white folks. And you motherfuckers, with all the financial troubles that y'all have, y'all asses gonna get a goddamn house. And that gentrified ass, upwardly mobile ass, more than likely 53% of whatever the fuck, that them folks voted for that orange motherfucker. Y'all asses gonna get a goddamn house up there. Now, not that Eugene can't afford it. Hint, emphasis on Eugene, because we know Toya don't do shit. But still, well, your ass could get a goddamn. First of all, correct me if I'm wrong, but Toya and Eugene don't have a real big family now, do they?
They got like 2 kids.
They have 2 kids.
Okay, but isn't 2 kids? Okay, but nigga, y'all don't need a motherfucking mansion. Like my nigga,
9,000 square feet, a 2-floor,
what, like,
2-story closet, like
what? Huh?
Well, you know what? I'm not mad at the closet, but the square footage, like,
yes,
and they're like, this is our forever home. Like, that is, to me, I don't know. I don't know what kind of money doctors make, but I feel like that's not sustainable for a forever home. Like, what the fuck is you gonna do with 9,000 square feet in your 70s? Like, that doesn't, like, you gonna end up selling it so that you can go live your life. Like, that's not a forever home.
And especially, it's not a forever home when one of the people in the home don't do shit but be annoying and be a color concubine.
That notwithstanding, if they can afford it, they can afford it. But to me, and I could be wrong, but to me, a forever home is a home that you buy and you expect it to stay in the family. How can you be sure, with the way that the economy is and the way it's been going, how can you be sure that your heirs, your children, are going to be able to sustain this house if you leave it? It doesn't, to me, it doesn't make sense. Like, that's not a forever home. Like, just call a spade a spade. Y'all want to flex on the show and spend money unnecessarily.
And you're gonna be right back in probably in the same goddamn situation.
I hope not, because that whole thing was annoying. Her doing all that complaining about not getting no dick, like this man ain't got to work 40 hours a day. I was like, girl, if you don't go get you a dildo and shut the fuck up and let this man do what he got to do.
Like, what are you doing? Like, I get it. If you want to be a housewife, that's completely fine. But to sit there and complain about your man not having enough sex with you when he's literally picking up every shift in the world.
Wasn't he driving like 2 hours one way to another hospital to work?
Because he was going to Columbus.
And he even said it when they was looking at it. He was like, I don't mind working and doing what I need to do to afford it. And it was like, I mean, shout out to her for being like, we staying in budget, nigga. Like, what is you even talking about? But why are y'all buying a $2 million house at this juncture? I feel like y'all are not far enough away from y'all's financial troubles to be spending money like this. Like, that dream house could wait a couple more years.
Agreed.
While y'all stack your money fast and go.
But going back to
who are we to count y'all's pockets until it come up on the show again?
Correct.
Right. That too.
That is the real tea.
Yeah. So, Dr. Contessa. So she is talking about having a double mastectomy because she's worried about getting breast cancer. Her mother passed from breast cancer. the last episode we learned, even though her father doesn't accept it, that he has, was it colon cancer?
Yes.
So, and she said she's been wanting to do it since she was in medical school.
Yeah, but then she hadn't had time.
Yeah, but basically she never made the time, which I guess makes sense because when she would have been in medical school, technology, I guess, would not have been where it is now because the doctor was like, it's small incisions. Like, we don't have. Oh, although I guess it's access to.
Yeah.
Because he was like, we can do a small incision and it doesn't have to be a scar all the way across the chest. It reminds me of what trans men have to go through, and I just wonder about that sometimes, like the accessibility to have that surgery where it's not noticeable scars on your chest. But that's a whole different conversation, and I'm not a trans man, so I don't want to speak for them. The interesting thing about it is seeing her go through it and how it's like affecting her marriage, like seeing Dr. Scott be emotional about it, but still trying to be supportive.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor was like, "Yeah, we'll leave the nipples on," and it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot that they're doing with Contessa this season, which I'm not mad at.
I mean, this is one of those things where it's like you can tell that she's just going through a patch of her life where she just got a lot of shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like worry about her father's health, trying to worry about her own health so that she don't leave her kids the way she feels like her mama left her when she got sick.
Right.
It's a lot.
Not to keep beating a dead horse, but it just makes how Toya has treated her look even the fuck worse.
Listen, let me tell
you. That dumb bitch. It really pissed me off with that. Like, it just irked my soul because it's like when you have a parent that is sick and is literally dying, the last thing you are fucking worried about is some fucking dumbass party. Like, Toya's like, well, I would prefer if my friends just call me, bitch, my dad is dying. Do you really think I give a fuck about returning your phone call? Like, with all that's going on, like that was so insensitive, and that just like completely like pissed me off, like because I've been in Dr. Contessa's shoes, like losing a parent to an illness, and it's like fucking frustrating when you have people coming at you over like stupid things like, oh well, you said you was gonna call me back by 8 and here it is 9:45 and you haven't bitch, eat a dick, okay? And have a great day. Like, and
circle back a little bit on that. It, to me, and I could be wrong, but it felt like to a degree, and I think I said this last week, like she did not know where he was for like 4 hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she had to have been stressed by that on top of that. But she had enough mindfulness to still tell Dr. Scott when she got home, go ahead and go to the party so that at least somebody will be there representing our household. Again, I said this last week, maybe even the week before. I thought that that's how these things work. Because I feel like if I had a husband and Candace was throwing a party and something was going on to the point where I could not go to the party, I feel like I can tell my husband, go ahead and go to the party, have fun, give her a kiss for me. And Candace is going to be like, oh, you're here. My husband will tell her what's going on, and she'd be like, okay, cool. I'll get up with him tomorrow to make sure everything is okay. Because like if a friend called me in the middle of the shit and had me on speakerphone embarrassing me, let me not get my blood pressure up again.
I think you said another last week, Fran, but yes.
Let me not get my goddamn pressure up, but let me, Anyway, let's move on. So it was, it caught me off guard, and it clearly caught Contessa off guard too when her doctor called her and was like, I have an appointment tomorrow. She was like, oh, I was like, ooh. You know what? I take that back because I was yelling at my computer screen. I was like, it's too soon. She haven't had enough time to think.
Yeah.
But that was me projecting because I felt like that was just so very heavy. But if she's had it on her mind for a long time and she's discussed it with her husband and they good with it, then we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Praying for the best, Dr. Contessa.
Yeah. I mean, the way she described it though, like
Yeah,
You gonna
yeah,
be like you can go home tomorrow. I'm like, ooh,
yeah. Ooh, it was a lot.
I cannot imagine going through a surgery like that and going home the next day. But
Yeah.
you know, again, I mean, medicine advances before our eyes, and if you don't have to be in it, you don't really realize how fast it's advancing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna end the show. Not the show, sorry. We're gonna end this part of the show. We gotta go back to Crazy Bitchlandia. Because
Hey, remember what I said last week? That damn Roses, that Outkast song.
yeah.
Bitch, oh stupid ass bitch, crazy bitch, oh dumb
Yeah.
ass bitch.
So Dr. Heavenly took the advice of her therapist, which okay.
Mhm.
And she is going home to Miami, and she's taking Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie with her.
You know, real quick, you know the trash part of me when they said Dr. Heavenly from Miami, I was like, you know what? You being from Florida makes all the fucking sense in the world.
I can't talk because I'm from Texas, so I mean Florida is definitely at the top of the list, though.
Florida is a whole different animal, you know.
There's only Florida, I think, is the only state that has a gift of somebody cutting it off.
Cutting it out that buzz bunny.
Anyway, shout out to all of our listeners from Florida.
Right.
But y'all know y'all state trash.
Yeah.
Just like I know mine is. Anyway.
Yeah.
So she is batshit crazy. But it's been interesting, to be honest, to see her peeling back the layers and seeing a lot of where that comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing her grapple with taking responsibility for the things that she says, like saying it and then trying to justify it and then realizing that the justification is trash.
Right. Listen, when they rolled them down clips back, I was like, Heavenly, God, you just, whoo. Even before we started covering this show, or shit, even before we even thought of Ratchet Ramblings, like, you just been a terrorizing motherfucker forever.
Yeah,
God damn.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then when she was trying to say that,
when she was trying to justify calling somebody a bitch.
Yeah, that was crazy. But at the same time, I had to kind of put myself in her shoes, and I was like, I wonder how that would affect you growing up in a household where your mama calls you a bitch.
And she internalized that shit.
She sure did. Now she's like, oh, it don't have no weight, it don't mean nothing. And it's like
it reminds me of that gif of that girl eating the saying to you.
Oh, well, yeah. I don't even think that that's true. I don't think she was being honest with herself, because when they rolled the footage back, and from me watching a few seasons of this show, the times where she's used words like that, it was with aggression and animosity. Like,
yeah,
you wasn't, most of the time, you wasn't being like, bitch, you cooked the fuck out of this rice.
Yeah,
you wasn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think Dr. Jackie called on that when she was deflecting and making it.
She did, because she would, and I wrote this part down because Dr. Jackie was like, you don't like what I'm saying, so now you're trying to like circle around and deflect. And Heavenly was like, oh, she done pulled my whole card.
Yeah.
So a few things. So we'll see what the rest of the trip is like. They're gonna go to her like childhood home, and I think I saw in the preview she was like, this the room where my daddy died. And
yeah, she broke down.
Yeah, it seems like it's gonna be Effie White heavy.
Yeah.
So to close this out, number one, I don't know how I felt, but I was like, why did you take both of them on this trip with you and you got a double room? She's like, you know what? All gonna sleep together, and I was like, gross. Like, you know what? Out of their own room.
Like that part, I just chalked it up. Do you know what? Heavenly gonna Heavenly.
You know what? You're right. You're right. And then when they went in there and they had all that goddamn food, and I'm like, who gonna eat all this food?
Right.
They had everything. Man, they had chicken breast, they had chicken wings, they had tacos.
And listen, the first thing that came to mind, I was like, who gonna eat this? Because you know, Dr. Jackie, everything that's in her house is green. So who?
Right. And that's why she was mostly eating salad.
Right. Shit, even got courtesy now. That what Curtis said, like,
Yeah.
my house green. I was like, so who?
Oh yeah. Because that was what? Who is that? Cecil. Cecil, like, who got all that fucking salad on his plate?
Yeah, Cecil was like Jackie rubbing off on you, Curtis, and look, all Curtis had to say was, "Yeah, she had." He couldn't even deny.
Listen, Curtis ugly ass is just glad that he
Right.
is not in the house anymore with his wife, and that she is not divorcing him and kicking him to the curb and fucking up his lifestyle.
Right. He like, whatever. Listen, whatever I have to do, I will do.
Listen, that nigga is grateful for the power of forgiveness.
Right.
I don't blame him.
Right.
Ooh. So anyway, that's Married to Medicine. We'll come back to that next week and see what's what, and see why we need to cuss Toya out again, and possibly Dr. Heavenly too, just on GP. But
yo, Doctor, can we just talk about for like literally it could be like 2 minutes? I don't really care about how Dr. Heavenly was calling Dr. Contessa. Like, why is she so ignorant? Like, why?
Yeah, but that's one of those things, like I was saying, where it's like you try to make it seem like you're ignorant of stuff, but the intention is there in your inflection. Like, we know what you're trying to do and what you're trying to say, whether you want to admit it or not. Like, you a mean, surly ass bitch, and it is what it is. Like, at least own it.
Right. You a crazy motherfucker. You look crazy. You act crazy. Your wig's crazy.
Yeah.
Your insults crazy.
I will say, in her confessional, when she has that like bone straight wig on, she does not look terrible.
No, she looks decent there.
Yeah.
I also will say, I kind of hollered when she was packing and Dr. Damon was like, yeah, I'm gonna go out. She's like, you can't go out till I get back. He was looking like, duh. She's like, I'm just playing, daddy. I was like, oh God. Yeah. I can't imagine, because he doesn't, I don't know. Like,
he's a nice man.
God bless him, I guess, because they don't really seem like, it don't seem like they have a bad marriage. It just don't seem like they on the same page, like, at all. It feels like they reading in two different libraries. But
Dr. Damon reading the Book of Peace, and Heavenly reading the Book of Crazy Beast.
Right. And Dr. Damon looked like he read with his finger. That's not right. That's not right.
God damn you.
Speaking of, so I said this in the group chat, and I felt like it was funny to say it on the show. So we were in the group chat, and I was telling Candace and Jeremy, I was like, we need to have a drinking game whenever one of them say go to hell or fuck you, Curtis, or goddamn Curtis. And Candace was like, nigga, you trying to give people alcohol poisoning. Oh, the niggatry in the group chat. So speaking of niggatry, Blackie. Yeah. So this was episode 4, entitled Pre-Losers with Diced Tomatoes. So first of all, whoever in production pulled that quote from the show as a title of the show, you
need to be fired.
Yeah, you don't need that job no more, boo. Because
all the stuff that happened this episode,
and you pulled that quote from funky ass Teddy,
and it's double the fact that it's Teddy. Like, you put of all the people, first of all, so much happened that you could have picked a better, like, what you said that K. Michelle has, Curtis Zinger. You could have pulled a Zinger from this episode, because there was a lot.
Or just got somebody that was more clever.
Right.
Like, because shit, on Black Ink Crew Chicago, they be shady as hell with their titles. That one, what was that one title they had where they were basically calling a Dirty Donna?
Yes.
3 losers with diced tomatoes. That sounds so fucking stupid. So that was number 1. Number 2.
I mean, it came from a stupid motherfucker. So
true. And we'll get to him. Number 2, when I tell you that Alex had all that fucking Fenty Beauty on his confession. He had so much fucking makeup on. I was like, God damn.
Yo, he was looking like what's that child name? What's that girl that Rihanna liked that Twitter spent like 5 fucking days talking about her looks? What's the girl name?
Slick.
Yes. Yes.
Woods.
Yes. Alex in his confessional looking like Slick Woods.
I was just like, listen, when I saw, I was like, I had to look and I was like, is the bandwidth fucking up on here? Like, why his face look like that? And then I was like, oh, that's makeup. Because, you know, in HD, you can see everything. I was like, that's a
everything.
shitload of makeup. Listen, somebody went to town on his ass. They was like, oh, we going to cover all this shit up. He
Right.
was looking like a brand new bitch.
Right. Brand new nigga.
No, brand new bitch. No, I'm just playing. So we start off Jada and Tetris Mouth.
Yo, why are you like this though? Like, why?
Yo, you know what? You know, Donna, you know what? What I thought about it, Curtis. You know, Donna, who that was you said that's like somebody, it was something you said where like somebody shaped like if they stepped on a Goomba and Mario. And I thought, you know what? That's what Donna mouth looked like. Her mouth looked like a Goomba.
Okay.
Too far?
Okay.
Her mouth looks like, I don't even know. You know, her mouth reminds me of, you know, on like cartoons and stuff when they always have that hall. You know, in the Matrix Reloaded, whatever the second one was called.
I think it was Reloaded.
When they was in that hallway with all them doors.
I'm done with you, like,
Yo, or like on Scooby Doo when they're running from the villain and they got the halls with the
Yeah, and they go into a door and be in a whole different dimension and come out in a different door.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if you go through the gap of Donna's teeth, you
okay.
Gotta.
Okay. That's what we're doing? Okay. Okay.
Listen.
Y'all
Scientists need
way too much. So, like,
the scientists they need to get on it. I feel like there's some wormholes up in there. We can get to the other side of the universe.
I feel like everybody on
musty.
Black Ink is musty, and I feel like if you come in contact with them, you need a tetanus shot after. Just like,
Yeah, you definitely might get syphilis.
it's so much filth
Yeah.
in one
like if you ran
concentrated area, and it's like they remind me of the filth from Linus's blanket. Like, just like they leave a trail.
Oh,
I was like,
a little dust cloud. They remind me of people who be like musty and they try to cover it up with expensive fragrances.
or even worse when they use cheap cologne and you're like,
listen,
Because I definitely feel like Kitty probably smell like Love Spell or something.
yeah, I feel like Teddy probably smelled like Brute or Axe.
Probably Axe. Because he
definitely Dracar, New York.
You know what that fits because he's shaped like the bottle, so you know what that fits.
He's shaped like I Dream of Teddy. That bottle from I Dream of Jeannie. Anyway, so Jada meets up with Donna, and she crying and doing everything, and she confesses that part of all the shit that's going on with her is that she pregnant. And Donna said, "It's Teddy baby," and she said, "Hell no."
Right.
And I was like, "Thank God it's not Teddy baby," because the last thing that I want to see is Teddy be a piece of shit about a baby.
Right. Because he gonna be a piece of shit about everything else, but
right.
Let's not have him be a piece of shit about a baby.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there because I had to double back around. I was like, but continue. We'll get there.
So Caesar, we see actually sides with Ted. Like they were out by the pool doing whatever the fuck they was doing out there, and Caesar was like telling Teddy, "You can fire whoever the fuck you want to. If they don't smell right, you can fire them."
Like, what kind of business protocol?
Right.
Listen, and my first thing was, well, C's, you need to fire everybody, including yourself, because nigga, you look like you smell like diseases. Like, what is?
Yeah.
But anyway,
pick one, whatever disease, just pick one.
Right. The answer is yes.
Yeah. So, but they can both continue to cook in hell.
Correct.
And then we see that everybody is trash because Caesar blows a gasket when Kitty tells him that she closed down 113th. And I'm sitting, remember last week, I asked the hard-hitting question. I was like, if literally almost all of y'all are in New Orleans, who the fuck is going to work in that shop?
Mm-hmm.
And then Caesar made Kitty call Young Bay, who literally had just had a baby 2 weeks prior, to go open the shop. And I'm like, how was she supposed to run the shop by herself?
Well, she on maternity leave.
Even if she didn't have the baby with her, because I'm from what I could tell, it seemed like there was only that one day because she couldn't get a babysitter. She had to take Nico with her.
Mm-hmm.
But even if she didn't have Nico with her, how was she supposed to run that whole shop by herself? How is she supposed to cater to people if she in the back doing a tattoo, people coming in, there's nobody to greet them and receive them? Like, I'm like, y'all are fucking stupid. Like, if you were gonna make Kitty call her and open the shop, you should have told somebody, you need to take your ass back to New York and help run the shop.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you a dumbass and you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And I'm still wondering how you able to open all these shops.
All right, because it ain't you, because you too goddamn stupid.
Because
you got assistants, nigga.
The management skills are not there. You got assistants and they can't be the motherfuckers that's on the show.
Right.
Because Sky, as a manager, she don't do shit. Teddy is supposed to be a manager. He don't do shit. Tati is supposed to be a manager. She don't do shit.
But Chase after Dick.
What's his name? Walt.
He don't do shit but yell.
He don't do shit. Like, nobody actually does anything for the betterment of the shop.
But why do they need so many managers? Like, why?
I don't know. More people to fight, I guess. Because it's not for work.
I'm like, y'all don't do shit.
And none of the managers tattoo. At least when Melody was the manager, she did tattoos too.
Right.
So y'all got basically you got 4 motherfuckers on overhead.
Basically,
yep.
So I'm like, where's the money coming from? Like, are y'all really doing tattoo? Y'all have to have other people doing tattoos while y'all off being goofy and being the stars of the show. Like, there's got to be regular people in them shops doing tattoos, because otherwise, where's the money coming from? Because y'all hardly ever do tattoos.
Right.
Like, when they opened the shop in New Orleans finally, and that was the most work I've ever seen the crew do, ever. Even Caesar did a tattoo.
Right, and all the years of watching this damn show,
I've never seen that many people that are associated with the brand working all at the same time, ever. Even Kitty was there; she was training. And I'm still confused. Why is it Kitty is supposed to be the brand ambassador, but she does everything else? At one point, she was doing the books until they figured out that she a stupid ass bitch that don't know how to reconcile no fucking books.
That shit was so funny because we dragged the shit out of Kitty over that shit.
Because I knew it. My nigga since told me, I was like, that money is not missing. This bitch don't know how to do no books. And what happened? We find out she don't know how to do no fucking books. How the fuck you doing books and you don't account for pending transactions?
Yo.
Oh God. But she managing the shop, she planning the parties. I'm like,
shit, doing the receptionist bid for me.
Yeah, she being the receptionist because Jada not there. I'm like, I mean, if we're gonna be honest, it seemed like Kitty should be the manager because she doing all the work.
To be honest,
I didn't see Jada doing shit when they open. Anyway, we'll get there. We'll get there. So, Young Bay, she has to take, like I said before, she has to take Nico to open the shop because she couldn't find a babysitter. And then, of course, niggas was coming in there. Now, she had me hollering when that one dude came and he was like, I want this and I want the eye to be. And she was like, your hand not that big. He was like, what you trying to say? She was like, your hand ain't big. What is you talking about? She's like, you want all this detail on your hand? It's not that much space.
Right.
And we know Young Bay is a good tattoo artist. Because even I said the same thing. I'm like, where's all this stuff going to fit? How is anybody supposed to see it?
Right.
And then that other dude came in there and I don't even remember what he was talking about. And then that whole part was stupid because they were like, man, they got babies in here. I don't fuck with no babies. And it was like, who asked you to? What is you talking about?
Right. Typical niggas. Typical niggas.
I like that baby. Well, when they was out there talking and she came out there with the baby, she was like, "I'll be right back." I was like, "What is she doing?"
I was like, it was kind of goofy, but it was like, well, young baby, you're doing the best you can.
She was doing the best that she can. I mean, shout out to her because I wouldn't agree to shit. I'd have been like, you want people to run this shop? You shouldn't have let every tattoo artist that works here go down to New Orleans with you.
Hello, you
don't know how to fucking manage. Oh, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna circle back around to that.
Correct.
So what happened next? So they out by the pool after they call Young Bay and all of that kind of shit. They all get together and they go to work, only to find out that the shop has been vandalized and they stole all the alcohol. And the only thing I could think of, that's what y'all get. So suffer.
Listen, listen. That part, when that part happened, I turned into you. I was like, you know what? Suffer.
I was like, I shrugged my shoulders and I was like, suffer. I mean, I don't
like,
I don't know what else to say. Like
when you do clownery,
I didn't feel bad. Like after the way y'all did Jada.
And I think that's what it was.
No, not only that, after the way y'all did Jada, after the way Sky did that bartender. And wouldn't that be funny if it came out that the bartender was the one that sent some niggas to go fuck that shop up and steal the alcohol? That would be hilarious.
That would be delicious, hilarious irony. And I would be like, you know what? Good.
It's like you said, when you do clownery.
When you do clownery.
When you do Caesary.
When you potential show title.
So then they started cleaning up and Caesar started pouting like childish moron that he is.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get them." No. I was like, okay.
Like a little black ass Yorkie just yapping.
Yeah, just yap. Your big ass lips just yapping. So they clean up the shop or whatever and they fix it. So they go out that night. Sky is being Sky, trying to cheer him up because he's sitting there pouting on purpose. And I was like, who wrote this scene? Because this is stupid. So then they're like, oh, I know to cheer you up, doing a shot out of Kitty's titties. And the first thing I thought, I was like, with the sordid history that Caesar and Kitty have, I was like, why would you put her in that position?
Right.
And then she agreed to it because she a bozo, but that's not saying much.
Yeah.
So then Caesar's like, oh, I do feel a little better now that I had a titty shot. I'm like, oh, God, y'all are so fucking stupid.
Right. I was rolling my eyes that whole scene.
I was like, y'all are dumb as hell. So then Bit Block, she walks in and I feel like we spent a lot of time last season dragging Donna for lying.
Yeah.
And then she comes and she does this.
You know what? Okay, so I'm gonna admit to being a little trash here.
Okay, because I think we may be going in the same direction.
Yeah, we probably are. I do think it's trash that Jada specifically, that Donna specifically lied and told Teddy that Jada was pregnant by him. Because Jada specifically told her, hell no, this ain't no goddamn Teddy baby. So I do think it's trash that Donna lied and said it was by Teddy. However, suffer, nigga.
Pretty much. The petty part of me was like, I get it. Make them squirm.
That's what Donna said. So I was like, you know what? The logical Jeremy and me is like, you know what, Donna, you is just a lying ass. But the petty part of me was like, you know what? Make that bitch nigga squirm.
Right. Because
it's what he deserved.
Teddy is more of a bitch than Donna is a liar. So
you know what? 100% facts.
Like if we're gonna call a thing, call a spade a spade.
That is 100% facts.
And then Teddy, he throws a fit and he walks off. He mad because they didn't know my baby. But Donna was wrong for lying about that, but she was right in everything else. Like, you fired her for no reason. You had no reason to treat her the way that you did.
And Curtis, to what you said last week, did you notice how old girl switched that tune and Donna called her out on that shit? Because she was like, what Tati said, she was like, well, technically Jada wasn't supposed to be in there. Donna was like, now hold on, bitch, because you were trying to have a conversation with her and squash the shit, then you changed your tune when Teddy got booked.
Yeah, you right. Yeah, I did say that last week. And that's why it was a fuck Tati fest as well. But we had more smoke for Teddy, and it was deserved.
Correct.
But Tati trash too, just like Reese.
Yeah.
Non-blacks and Black Ink Crew always be trash.
And it's always niggas being the fuck stupid.
Oh yeah, and it's always gonna be a nigga that's gonna lay across the train tracks for they dumb asses. And they both liars. Now that I think about it, well, no, Tati's not a liar. She just trash.
Yeah, she just trash. And then and I mean, if we going by the scale, I would say Reese is better. I mean, I'm not better. She's worse because she not only is a liar, she also a thief. So and Tati not a liar or a thief. She just a bozo.
Yeah, she a liar and a thief, and she, well, I don't know. Like, I agree, but Tati's not that far behind because his actions cost Junior his job, and Tati's actions cost Jada her job.
Fair.
Now, Jada's not innocent. You know, obviously she was fighting with her, and, you know, there was more fighting that they was doing that they didn't really show, but Donna was right. Jada came in there trying to squash the beef.
Right.
And she was specifically trying to go talk to her. And then Teddy came over there turning up. You ain't supposed to be here. And it's
bitch.
like, if you would just have stopped for 2 seconds and listened to her and listen to her say, I'm just trying to have a conversation with Tati so we can squash the beef.
You
know what I'm saying?
But you puffed out your little bitch ass chest trying to be Captain Save Ho.
Right.
And now look at you. Teddy boy, fuck you.
Yep. Yeah, so he walked off after Donna was pulling his whole card with her lies and truth. A mixture.
You know how bad you know how much of a bitch you got to be for somebody to pull your card with both lies and the truth.
Listen. That's how it be sometimes. So then we see Alex and Donna. They go on a date in the swamp, and I was like, "Well,
fitting because
yeah." And so they made it official. They boyfriend and girlfriend. And the only thing I could think about was y'all went from restroom raw dog to Bayou Bays. Yuck. But I mean, I guess.
Well,
he seemed to really love her, and she claims to love him. But we've seen what her love looked like.
How you get them? What they're saying is how you get them is how you lose them. So
I'm just saying, I don't know how she really feel about him, but she real hesitant with him, and we saw what happened the last time she was in love. He ended up on the internet. She was getting a blunt rolled on her butt. So,
which fitting.
But you know what? You know what? I don't know if we ever gave Alex his roses for that, because that takes some skill to deliver strokes while you rolling a blunt.
It does. It really does.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. And I mean, you know what? It makes sense because I mean, Alex is he does good work. I'm not gonna say he's the best tattoo artist in that shop, but he does adequate work.
He's gotten better because remember when he first started, he was trash. So.
Yeah. Growth.
Yeah, growth. Yeah. So we go back to New York. Young Bay is in there sweeping, and Jada walks in. And she was on a whole tirade. Like, listen, Jada went back to New York like 113th, didn't land on Young Bay. Young Bay landed on 113th. Like, you need to quit. They don't give a fuck about you, bitch. What is you even doing in here working hard while them motherfuckers is in New Orleans turning the fuck up? Bitch, quit. I was like, Jada, wait.
I was listen. Young Bay was looking like
disagree.
I didn't disagree, but I was just like,
but Jada, the delivery was much.
Yeah, Jada. I mean, Young Bay was looking like, girl, what?
She was so confused because you know, she just was. I don't know, but she was like, "You need to quit." So Young Bae was like, "Well, just stay and help me." She was like, "No, I don't work in no more." Bye. And I said, "Energy." So
Yeah.
I wonder if we're gonna see Jada again and more during the season, or if it's one of those real things where she's like, "You can't fire me contractually, but I can quit." So bye.
Yeah, because I mean, in her what you call it, they in the confessionals in that tagline, which Jada, baby, that wig, child, that wig.
I don't even look at her from the hairline up.
Well, from that,
from the eyebrows up, I've given up.
Curtis, fuck you.
I'm not playing from the. I didn't look at her hair not once this whole episode. From the eyebrow up, I have given up because I am tired.
But goddamn you, Curtis. But anyway, what I was saying in her confessional, when they listed her tag, it did say former receptionist. Now, you know, we really don't know, you know, that might not mean nothing, but it'll be interesting to see.
Right.
Like you said,
That was just for that one episode.
Yeah.
So the last thing, and then we're gonna get to the shit. So we can get out of here. So Young Bae needed help, and she went on the internet. I'm assuming Instagram.
Yeah.
And was putting the feelers out like, can somebody come help me? And from the preview, it looks like what's his name? Oh shit.
And Puma
comes, and he brings Puma, and they come to the shop to help Young Bae. And then the word gets back to Caesar. He starts blowing a gasket. So we're gonna see what happens next episode with that.
Because even
Jada was like, "You put that on the internet?" Like Jada was a little bit all over the place.
Yeah.
Like on the one hand, she was like, "They don't give a fuck about you, bitch, quit." Then on the other hand, she's like, "You put that on the internet, girl, you wrong for that." I was like, let's pick a side and let's stay there.
Yeah, is it Uchiwale one mic, Jada?
Right. You're looking like a leaf, you blowing from side to side.
Right. Cause they definitely hit you with the they hit you with the
hit her with the he.
Yeah, they hit you with the Illmatic. So
Speaking of being hit.
Excellent segue.
So Teddy, because he don't know how to do shit else, he put it on the internet and put out for they having a pool party at this house that they staying in. And Caesar's like, "What the fuck?" And Tate's like, "Yeah, in 20 minutes." And I was like, ugh.
Like, you fat ass nigga, you.
Right. So they having a pool party. A whole bunch of people show up. Police show up. And Caesar sounded the fuck stupid. Because he was like, that officer was like, "So you gonna sit up here and try to tell me you don't smell the marijuana?" And Caesar was like, "I don't know about these down south cops. They shoot you in the South. In New York, I know how to deal with them." And I'm like, you sound so fucking stupid. They shoot everywhere. How many stories have come out of New York? What was the man's name that got killed in New York from the chokehold? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Like, oh, I hate that mentality. It's like, I live up north and I'm from the South, and it grinds my fucking gears, word to Peter Griffin, when people talk about, oh, racism isn't that bad up here. I'm like, nigga, yes, the fuck it is. It's like they pretend to be your friend when in reality they're stabbing you in the front. It's like my grandmother always says, like, I'd rather be openly hated in the South than to be like fake loved up north, because they'll be like, "Oh my god, my neighbor, I thought it was an intruder." Like, bitch, mind your fucking business.
Right.
I don't know, that whole comment by Caesar, I'm like, you's a dumb nigga anyway, so
correct.
It don't matter. Like,
I've heard nothing but facts.
Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like,
stupid ass, bubble lip ass, dumb ass nigga.
Like, I know how to handle the cops up north. I'm like, yo, that's because they arrested your dumb ass like multiple times. Of course, you developed a relationship.
Of course, like, didn't you go to jail for not paying your child support? You know them intimately. Nigga, fuck is you talking about?
Like, nigga, y'all got a thing going on, nigga. Like, what?
Yeah. So then Teddy's like, "Well, we're not gonna end the party. We're just gonna turn it down a little bit." And Caesar was like, "No, get out." And so then the new artist that Sky has decided she don't like for no reason. His name
She's
is
like, I'm a Virgo and I thrive off of energy, and that energy that he was.
It's impersonation though, Lexi.
Yeah. And when she said that, I was like, how can you thrive off energy? Because if that was the case, you would be dead from your own fucking energy. Like, what the fuck is you talking about?
Hello. Good night. Come again. Okay.
Crazy ass.
It's she ain't a Virgo, she a Birdo.
Yeah, she a bozo.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes in and they're talking, and she was really in her feelings when he called her fake, but she was like, I don't like you, I don't want to talk to you, I'm gonna talk about you behind your back. And he was like, why don't you just say whatever you got to say to my face? And she said whatever. He's like, you fake. And at first I didn't know what he was saying because his accent, it made it a little bit difficult. I had to watch it back. And I was like, oh, he's saying fake. And I was like, he's not wrong.
He's not.
And she was like, oh yeah, I got fake titties, fake ass, fake this, fake that. I'm a fake ass bitch. What else? And I was like, this self-drag.
Yeah. I mean, it's
so cringeworthy when people drag themselves in an effort to win an argument. I'm just like, this is not working in your favor, beloved.
Right. I mean, now we have given it to Sky. It's, she got good work done, but
still, a self-drag is a self-drag.
Yeah.
Yeah, dress that one up, Jay.
Yeah.
So when he called her fake, she was in her feelings and she put her hands on him. And I believe I said this last week.
You did.
That Sky has a hands problem because there was literally no reason for her to put her hands on that man.
No, it wasn't.
Now,
come with it.
You also said this last week, but we will reiterate it again here.
Come with it.
He was wrong for putting his hands on her too.
Yes, he was, but
when he smacked her the way that McGregor dude got smacked in that I was just like, now he wrong as fuck, but you reap what you sow, bitch.
When you do handsery,
listen,
the hands come back to clap.
Shit. In this instance, them hands came back to punch.
Damn it, Lexi.
Listen, I'm just saying.
Them hands came back to shit, to beat ass. And all hell broke loose at that point.
Yeah.
And
basically,
that happened. They did one of those.
Yeah, they started doing that weird little
going to black, then going to the thing. But
you hear Caesar yelling, he punched my sister in the face.
Yeah,
they chasing after him, so they spill out into the street.
Yeah,
these here good white folks.
And
and ask the security.
Listen, and so Caesar and Herb, they square up. And I have to give Caesar his roses, because when I tell you he punched the shit out of Herb.
Listen, that was an old school, like when back in the day, like you in school and it's two motherfuckers where they say they're gonna fight after the bell ring and while everybody waiting for the buses and it's a whole circle and them two niggas square up. That was a good old fashioned.
That was a good, you're right, old fashioned square up.
Mm-hmm.
And Herb got done up.
Yeah, I was finna say, like you say, now Caesar's a dumbass nigga, but we gotta give him his roses because he clocked the shit out of that nigga.
He truly did. And that nigga tried to retreat.
But when he did that,
but when he tried to retreat, Teddy turned into the Flash. I ain't never seen his fat ass move that. I'm sure he ain't never moved that fast unless he was trying to get to the table.
You know what?
For dinner. Not even for pussy, because he be acting anyway.
Yeah.
Listen,
so Curtis, Herb went to retreat and Teddy swept him off his feet and started beating the fuck out of him.
Teddy went Super Saiyan.
Listen, he turned into Broly.
He listen, an ass beating for the centuries.
Love telling you, God, legendary.
I was nigga. Like, ooh.
All right, God, and you know what's up? Like the security, like I said last week, I thought it was gonna be one of them things where, like in the preview, it's like the security kind of let them fight, but then we get to the episode and it's like, well, actually, it was the editing, like they did kind of break it up. No.
Yeah, the security was they were trying to break it up, but not hard enough because they definitely let Teddy get his licks in.
Listen, Herb,
a multitude of them. Herb got his ass beat.
Listen, they beat that nigga. They beat that nigga like a Herb.
Oh,
Listen, they beat his ass. Hey, they beat his ass into the ground. Like, you know how that joke Cat Williams had was like, he was like, we just a herb, it just grow like that. They beat that nigga into the ground.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is this: in this lifetime or the next, I don't ever want to be on camera get beat the fuck up like this. This is the prayer that I put out into the universe. Don't ever let me be on camera being beat the fuck in HD at that.
Right, high definition.
High definition ass kicking. He got his ass beat. I know he gonna show up in the next episode with a black eye like Charmaine.
Like Charmaine did. listen, high punches. High punches and high ass whoopings. God damn.
Listen, that was the definition and a prime example of talk shit, get hit, cause they beat his ass. I'm still reeling from that point. Like, I know Caesar grew up in the streets, but it's still different to see like that square up. Like the part with Teddy, I'm like, yeah, he beat him up, but I mean, he kind of caught him on the run.
Yeah, he stole him.
Yeah, he had already gotten punched and clocked, and he was probably dizzy and dazed. So, and Teddy got a good 60 pounds on him at least.
Right.
So that wasn't no impressive feat. But when they squared up,
and you know what made it even worse? It was like Herb said, like if I think before him and C squared up, because I think Walt, you know, with his flailing ass, he tried to run after him. He was like, Walt, we can square up. And C stepped in and did square up with that nigga. And I think what made it better was like Herb was talking like, hey, if y'all want to fight, I mean, bring it to me. And well,
you got what you asked for.
Asking you shall receive, cause
in abundance.
Shit, I mean, cause like you say, we gotta give Caesar's roses, cause he
listen, cause
squared up, lined them up, and knocked them up.
Listen, because Caesar turned into that one nigga from Street Fighter, Tiger Punch. I was like, woo. I was like, ooh, he done punched that poor man head off.
That he did.
And that was pretty much the end of the episode. The preview. What happened in the preview? Outside of Caesar being mad about Puma being in the shop.
I think Melody went back to New York, I think. I could be wrong, but I think she did. And I think she got because I think it was her. I don't know. I don't remember Jada being in it, but I think it was Melody that saw that Young Bay had, in her desperation, had Puma and oh shit in the shop, and she was like, oh bitch.
Oh yeah, and so then it looked like Caesar squaring up again, and he fighting oh shit. Although you could tell that they weren't trying to like really fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't like him versus her.
Yeah, no. That shit, none of that shit was scripted. Like they did not expect Herb to punch Sky back.
Right.
They may not have even expected Sky to punch him.
Right.
But they definitely did not expect him to punch her and for all of that shit to happen. Like that was way off script. Yeah. But that fight with oh shit, you could tell they weren't trying to hurt each other. Like they doing that shit where they just grabbing around the middle and shit. Like they didn't square up.
Yeah.
So we'll see how foolish that is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much it. So we had a jam-packed week, I guess. Married to Medicine continues to be a hot mess, mostly because of Heavenly and Toya.
Mm-hmm.
Braxton Family Values, that was a mess because it just was.
Yeah. Good luck, everybody.
And then Black Ink Crew. So next week, I believe we will have Married to Medicine again, Black Ink Crew, and then the premiere of Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta. That
Correct.
comes on Thursday the 11th. So we'll be reporting live on that. And this is the cast where that Masika joined, right?
Yeah, Masika and Lil Mama.
So I'm excited for Lil Mama, and I have questions about Masika, but we'll get there. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. You guys got anything else?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to Lexi for joining us, even though she had texted me like towards the end and said her laptop died. You know, good luck, technology.
Well,
you know,
we're pretty much done. So shout out to you, Lexi.
Yes,
and no roses for your laptop.
Yes, your laptop was being a hater.
Yeah, a hater hoe and not a greater hoe.
Correct. But we enjoyed you.
We did.
And you guys make sure you go follow Lexi. She is wonderful and she is hilarious. And yeah, if you're not trash, you know, she is taking sugar daddy applications.
Emphasis on not being trash.
Because child.
But yeah, so that's it. This was a CSPN production. Go to our website, click on the link to keep our podcast free if you want to help us out. If you want to help us out additionally with a little ching chang from your personal pockets, you can become a patron. There's a link on the website for that as well. I believe it's patreon.com/CSPN media.
Correct.
I think that's pretty much it. Last week, Chronic College celebrated their 4-year anniversary. They had Candace and I. So if you've been missing Candace, if you've been not listening to the show because Candace hasn't been on there and you want to hear her voice, she was on Chronic College last week being Candace. So check that out. Hopefully she'll be back in a few weeks. There's some things coming up, and then the vow renewal is coming up. So we'll probably skip a week around then, because it's gonna be a lot going on and traveling and all that kind of stuff. But we'll get there. That's a couple of weeks off, and that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else. Leave us some ratings and some reviews, y'all, so we can feel good and loved and appreciated.
Correct. I don't have anything else to add. Yeah, just be a greater hoe and not hate a hoe. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Shout out to everyone that fucks with us and fucks with the CSPN. So
thank you for all the listens and all the love and the engagement. And this week's benediction. Protect your head. I don't know. Protect your head. That's all I got.
Watch your neck.
We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.